part 2 of why housing cannot become more affordable as we move into the future unless massive changes are made. Something happened in 1971, and that's why we're checking out WTF happened in 1971.com. Highly encourage you to go check it out. Let's see some of their charts. First, we have worker pay compared to productivity, and in 1971, something happened where orange productivity kept going up, but pay split off and went a lot lower. Up top, we can see income gains as a share of the economy. You see the top 95% or the top 5% are earning far more than the median or the bottom 80%. And on bottom, we can see income growth of the top 1% versus the bottom 90%. You see it was going up for basically everyone in the US. And then in 1971, we get a plateau, and then the 1% just took off. Women, if you want to work, that's great, but when you get married and have kids, wouldn't you like the option to at least afford to be able to stay home? Well, we see in 1971 that the share of husband-only workers went down while both spouses went up, and the share of only the wife working went from 2% to 7%. And now we're going rapid fire. Consumer price index up top, cost of electricity, food, and fruit on the bottom. Home price in Boston and New York City versus income, and on bottom, average home price starting in 1971. How long does it take to save for a home? Usually 2.5 years until 1971, then it takes back up. Now we're at 7-8 years. And finally, we've got the national debt. Look at 1971. Really started in 1913, started growing little by little, but what happened in 1971? Well, we got the dollar decoupled from gold, which meant the only value of a US dollar is that the government says that it's valuable. It used to be a paper slip redeemable for gold. A dollar actually meant you had a certain amount of gold sitting in a bank. Now it means nothing. And when they can print money as much as they want to, it creates asset classes out of things that aren't assets, right? Homes are depreciating, right? You buy it and it depreciates over time. Just like a car, right? Things break, you have to maintain it. There's a lot of renovations and upkeep that need to happen. So why do home prices just keep going up? Well, it's a few things, right? The bigger the population gets, whether that's natural births or native births here in the US or immigration, restrictive policies on house building that limit the amount of people who can build new homes. And then also the fact that they're just printing more and more money, people need a place to park their money, because if you put money in a bank, you're losing money over time. Right? It becomes less and less valuable over time. So we needed an asset class that everyone can get into, or most people can get into, and housing was a natural asset class for that because everyone needs a home and there's a high demand for them. So as long as the dollar is valueless and the government can print as much money as they want, housing goes up.